Well, shemai everyone, it has been such a long time since I did a video, and the Welsh rain is giving me a little bit of percussion in the background. Here is my updated new craft room tour. So this is the craft room in the new house. We haven't fully moved in the house yet. We're getting closer, edging closer all the time, but I've pretty much moved in the stuff from my old craft room. So I'll just give you a little pan around. The room is about 4.5 meters squared. There we go. And then I'll have to go into sort of all the corners then for you to see it in its entirety. So it is, we thought we wouldn't start off small and build a bungalow. We thought we'd build a 4-story house. So I am up in the loft. Hence the very high ceilings and the big skylights. I've shut my blind at the moment because I've got my lights on, because it's a wet autumnal Saturday afternoon in Wales. We've got quite a lot of reflection. So as you can see, I've got kitchen cupboards all across the one side. My computer desk there. And there's my sink. When Lee asked me what I wanted in the craft room, the one thing I wanted was a sink. I'm just going to back out now. So I've got the 5x5 Kallax unit. Then I've got 3 Billy bookcases. You'll have to excuse me, I'm getting over yet another cold. The joy of working with little ones. And there's my Welsh dresser. And down here is my little dog, who isn't a bit interested in what I'm talking about. And there's my craft island. So, for those that are interested, I'll do a little bit of a show of what's in the cabinets. I must say, I change it on a regular basis, but I think I am happy now with the way the cabinets are laid out. Here's my Tim Holtz inks. Lee built me this stand. It's actually double-sided. So the other colours on the back. And I've added some little casters to it today that I had bought for another project that Lee said, nah, they'll never work for that. So they've now got a new home. So up here, I've got all my old style Sizzix dies. I don't use them very often, but I often use them for projects for school. And I've also got around my craft room little items that people have bought me. And I've got these are fab little drawers, these are. And they all stack, and they are from Home Bargains in the UK. So for the UK watchers, they are really, I think they're about £3. And they've got these little drawers. So then if I'm working on something, you can take the whole drawer then to your desk. So that's in the high cabinets. Then in this one here, now the vodka that's at the bottom is actually for when I'm adhering vinyl to things. I don't drink, but when it said about using alcohol, I had a bottle of that we'd had at a party, so I use that now. Only the best, obviously. So we've got all my vinyl. I've got my pro markers in a box that we created, so anything to do with vinyl in, apart from a toilet roll. That's probably because of me and my colds. And I've got my pennies in there. I am going to have a little hook up here when the main work in the house is done. As Lee said, that isn't a priority, so obviously I have to agree. Here is my one mixed media drawer. And this is mainly my embossing powders. And then I've also got a little embossing station, and obviously all my glitters are up in the top cabinet, so that works out well. This one then is a little bit of a tidy up. I've got all my stencils in a folder, all my glitter kisses and things like that, and here all my pastes, all my gilding flakes, all the rest of my mixed media stuff is in here, including this rather beautiful stencil folder that Sarah made us on Crop in the Country, and the instructions for my hoover, because why wouldn't I? Then this then is all my ribbons. It's actually not all my ribbons. These are my card making ribbons. I've also got some ribbons then that I use mainly in sewing. Now I might have to miss the last drawer out because my little dog is sleeping quite nicely. I have dusted, but obviously I didn't dust that one. This is my mink machine and everything to do with that, all the foils and everything. And my fuse in there. Then these two drawers are my embellishment drawers. So I bought these drawer dividers. I think they were on Amazon actually. I think I've got 2 sets in there. I've got little sequins then in these. I've also got little bowls that I can use. Sorry, I had the camera in the wrong place. Little bowls I can use back at my workstation. And as I say, I won't, what they say, let's see dogs lie, I'll try and do that drawer at the end. I'll try and shift her across. So I then got, I know it's quite old fashioned these days to have a CD player, but I've got so many CDs that I love to listen to, and my DVD player because I got loads of DVDs as well. I've got my big shots out. Then this cupboard I've got my page protectors in here. I've also got some scrapbook collections in these big, I know they call them iris containers in America. Art bins, that's right, that's what these ones are. And blank cards. And then above my die cutting area, I've got this one here. These are December daily albums, can't think of the word then, and Christmas embellishments. This one is my dream cut. I do use it occasionally. As you can see from my last craft room, it yellowed in the sun quite a lot. This is my laminator. This cupboard then, because corner cupboards are quite awkward, aren't they, to get to everything. I have still got my old style Cricut expression, which I absolutely love. So all my cartridges are in here. The nice thing is about it, you haven't got to put the computer on. You can just create. And I use it a lot for displays in school. So I've got my guillotine, my Fiskars cutter then, my old Cricut, my newer Cricut. I say newer, it's not a Cricut maker. This was one I bought my mum. And when she passed away then, I've started using it. Now this cupboard here is a bit of a mishmash of all storage items that I've bought or that I've brought over from the last house that I don't need at the moment. So anything I think I won't use, I'll pass on to Lee for his study. This cupboard then, this high cupboard, as you can see, I've got like artwork around the craft room as well. At the moment, this is still odds and sods from these kitchen cabinets. Once I've changed, I think I've got a few more soft close, what they call brackets to put on, and then all that will be coming out. So I got a cupboard, sorry. Now these are like you've always got to have a junk drawer, haven't you? So this one is like my stationery stuff. Then, again, I think I had these ones from either Shein or AliExpress. These ones, these are really nice as well. And then that drawer is shambolic. So at the moment I've got my laptop there, my computer chair obviously. This one at the moment has got punches in. Oh, I'm pulling the whole drawer with it. This is an IKEA filing cabinet, which was all grey, but I sprayed the front of it. I've got a little tea making area. We've got a fridge then in our cinema room that I keep the milk in. Again, more artwork. And this one is my collection of Russian dolls. I've collected Russian dolls since I was little, and some special photos. At the moment, I've got a tub of sugar for when I make tea as well. I use sweeteners, but there we are. And I've got all different adhesives in there, like extras. I've got a lot of extra glues because when my mum passed away and I had the contents of her craft room, she had a great deal of glue. There's my cottons then for sewing. So these drawers here are my sewing area. More sewing things and some tote bags. And more sewing things like the pedal of my sewing machine. This is my Gemini Junior and hot foil machine, all in this cart. So whenever I do it, then I can just take the whole cart to my desk. This is going to be very quick. There's a mess in there. And then this one, I need to put the arm on this one, is all my Xyron glue machines. And the nice thing is I have got surfaces that I can put like special things as well. So as you can see, I've labelled these up. Paper flowers. I used to have about 5 billion. I've now only got about 1 billion. And I still don't use them that often, but I don't really want to part with them either. This stand is fab. Lee made me this about 6 years ago, I think, and it's been used for lots of different things. At the moment, I've got all my thickers sorted by colour and stickers, and bigger stickers. I've got journaling cards then from my project life, and surprise, surprise, more double-sided tape down there. Then I've got embossing folders, and I have put all my thinlets that match my stamp set from Stampin' Up in the case with the stamps. These are the ones that either don't fit in a stamp set or are used for a few different sort of kits, stamp sets, sorry. And so I just put those there, and they're working out well, to be honest. At least I sort of know exactly where they are, because if they're not on the stamp set, if they're not on the case, sorry, I know where they are. And I put a little sticker on my stamp set saying that it's got dies with it. These are my general sort of shape ones and Christmas ones. So then if I show you across my Kallax, I put the labels on my bins using HTV vinyl. I watched a video of a girl doing it online, and all she did, and it worked out really well, she put like a folded tea towel underneath, so then you could sort of apply heat. I applied it gently rather than sort of going full in on full heat. Then I've got all my A4 cardstock, 12 by 12 coloured and neutrals, and my husband and I made these storage containers here out of foam board, which is in Hobbycraft and is usually on offer. I'm just going to come the other side now. I bought these cardboard bins. These are totally Tiffany ones. I must be honest, I think if I carry on sort of filling them, I think I'll have to change them to the plastic ones, because they're okay, but when you take them out, you've got to support the bottom as well. Then I've got my kits. I'm trying to see if there's one I can easily take out. In these collection keepers, I think they're called. Totally Tiffany. I get those from Crafter's Companion. So all these then are my scrapbooking collections. Then I've got loose pattern paper. And these ones then are from Stampin' Up, like paper 12 by 12 books that I tend to use then to make envelopes, make my own envelopes. Then I've got these, I think they're called Western boxes, with collections really that don't fit in those big Totally Tiffany ones. Albums, my plastic blocks. Again, I sorted through all my project life, and I've got all my journaling cards in one place because I use those on my scrapbooking layouts as well. Sewing machine, one of these boxes here. These are marvellous with all the little boxes in. All my sewing items in there. I always buy those in Hobbycraft, but they're on half price. These then, again, for you, the UK crafters, this fantastic divider here was B&M Bargains, which is fab because I've got two for my washi tapes, and this one's got embellishments in as well. But also I've got one with all my December daily stuff. So when I'm working on that, I can just take it to my desk. I think this was B&M Bargains as well. I am like the queen of organisation places now. I bought this little, what would you call it? Like a little divider. I think that was Shein. And I've got my 6x6 papers in a half size art bin. And I've sorted them all by colours. There's nothing that exciting in the box, in the covers at the bottom. So I won't go through those ones. Then I've got all my mixed media up there as well. These stadium stands are also totally Tiffany, Crafter's Companion. They often have sales and deals on them. Stampin' Up markers and stamps up, ink pads, my stickles. This was a really cheap little organiser here because at least you can store them upside down. So this is all my colour and ink area. I've got my blending brushes here, my blender pens, these retired ink pads from Stampin' Up. I still use them a lot. Then I've got, these are all my smaller pieces of cardstock and I've labelled them all up. And I always go to those first. When you need a little something for a sentiment strip, I don't want to cut into a whole piece, so I always go there first. Then I've got these little stadium organisers. These were also home bargains with my wooden stamp set on. Oh, sorry, even though I got all the lights on, it's a bit dark at the back. These fab files, these are 12 by 12 fab files. These are also totally Tiffany, and they are also sold by Crafter's Companions. There we go. I had to stop the camera for a bit because I fell over standing up. Then I've got some more framed layouts here. This skinny billy bookcase holds all my Christmas Stampin' Up stamps and the matching punches down the bottom. And then this one then, as you can see, is rather full. The lot at the bottom I need to sort through and put on Evernote. I've got all my stamp sets on Evernote. And I've also got a colour coding system for them. So if I'm looking for a masculine stamp set, it's green. Birthday's got a little gold sticker. And as you can see then, I put them all on my stamp sets. I've been a demonstrator for 10 years now. And I must be honest, I keep lots of the stamp sets. I don't do it as a business. So anything I want to keep and I like, I keep. This lovely box at the top, I had of a little girl that I taught, who's now probably just about to finish the comp. My Welsh dress that came from my mum and my late parents' house, and as a child I loved it. So I said to my husband, I've got to keep that Welsh dress, but it was an orange pine. And I think Lee thought I'd gone a bit mad. But I sort of sanded it, Lee helped as well, quite a lot. Helped sand it all back, and then we used French chic paint on it. And it's full of my special items, like the bookcase, not the bookcases, sorry, let me come closer. The books belong to my grandmother. There they are. The cameras belong to my dad. The thimbles belong to my late sister. This little tramp here belonged to my grandfather. And I used to think he was the ugliest thing ever. But my dad then had it after my grandfather passed away, and then he had to come and live with me, obviously. I've told my nephew he was going to live with him next. Then this was my mother's milk jug. This was the tiara I wore for my sister's wedding. And that's the one I wore for my own wedding. Cookie jars that belonged to my mum. That belonged to my mum. It was a present of my grandmother. A great aunt's china. My mum's cake stand. Then this, as a child, this was always full of chocolate. Sadly, is not anymore. And my mother's cake stand there. So if I just spin around now, as you can see, she's even more relaxed now. Lee designed and made my craft island for me. And in each corner, there's a little 3-shelf stand. And they've just got precious sort of things that I've had off people. I've got 4 chairs up here for friends to come and craft. My little Welsh ladies. Then I've got special mugs here. And special candles and things. And again, I've got a Winnie the Pooh snow globe that I've had for years. That little pot I made in a pottery class. Then, once again, I think that was B&M. I've got these then, which are also totally Tiffany, that I had on offer in Crafter's Companion. I must be honest, they're not the most useful. So they're okay. This is supposed to be like a bin. You can't get much in there. Or you can put like a trimmer in there, which is quite useful, but I kept banging it. Then by the side of my desk, I've got, this is a Hobbycraft cart with my most used tools, my stamp apparatus, my scoreboard, 5 million foam pads, little trays then. Lee made me a holder for my paper towels. He 3D printed that. I've got cups and things on the side. These then, here, are my frameless and dies. And as you can see, I've labelled them all up. This, I had this from IKEA years ago, this metal hanging thing. That's full of double-sided tape. As you can see, I've got a bit of a fear of running out of double-sided tape. I'll show you the other side then. And again, is one of those racks. And I've got like platforms and little tiny trimmer and bits and pieces like that. So there we go. That is my craft room. I must be honest, even though we have moved in, I have been lucky enough to do quite a bit of crafting up here. And I absolutely love it. The fact of being able to stand up and not wallop my head on the ceiling, because at the moment, in our current house, my craft room again is up in the attic, but you can't stand up even in the middle. So this is just a pleasure to work in. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm hoping I can get back to making some process videos soon and some card making videos, because I have missed it. And as you can hear, the rain has started to join in again. So thank you all so much for joining me. And hopefully I'll see you very soon. Hwyl fawr ffrindiau. Bye. Just a little add-on. My furry friend got out of her bed for a little bit. So I shuffled her bed across, but she's happily back in there now. So this is the bottom drawer. And it's full of all the little plastic containers that come in the Hobbycraft boxes. I've used the empty boxes then to house fat quarters. They fit beautifully. But I was finding that I wasn't using any of the stuff in the little boxes because I had quite a few of them, then you'd have to go through every single one. Whereas now, I can see exactly where they are. So if I'm looking for flowers, I know where to go, or wood veneer. It'd be nice to use them up. So there they go. So that's in the bottom drawer. I've also got eyelets and brads, all those things that I had in every single colour ever created. And I very rarely use. So I have been trying to sort of get back to using them. So there we are.